Hey everybody, Jamie here. Welcome back to another episode of this webcast called Keeping It Real with Jamie. Today, we're back as always in our Crossroads studio located in Toms River, New Jersey. Donna behind the controls as always. How you doing over there, Donna? Okay, she's nodding. She's doing good. I have a guest with me today as always, but first we'll talk a little bit about me because it's my show, so I get to talk about me. As you know, it's Jamie Keeping It Real in Real Estate. I do have a team that's going to start up this month. I'm excited about that. I have some new listings coming as well. Been working on that. Just want to give you my info. It's Jamie, your real estate guy on Facebook, Jamie, the real estate guy on Instagram, and Jamie, your real estate guy on YouTube. All right? So that's all my information. J. Lasasso at crossroads.com. No, crnj.com. I'll get in trouble if I don't get that right. crnj.com. So thank again, Crossroads and everybody, for letting me do this. Today, we're going to really kind of talk about a lot of different things because my guest today is well-versed in all the stuff that we're going to talk about. He was a two-time mayor when he was in the town, it was the fifth largest. It's now the sixth largest township in New Jersey. He sits on a board at bank. He's been a long time in the executive medical field at JFK Hospital up in Edison, New Jersey. And we have today the Honorable Mr. Tom Lankey from Edison, New Jersey. Tom?
Hey, Jamie, how are you doing? Great to see you. Great to be here.
Well, I'm really glad. We've been talking about this for a while.
We have.
And we had a little talk before, and should be pretty interesting, which really makes this interesting, and we got to say it, is, I don't know, I'm sure everybody knows, but this is Donna's ex-husband, Tom Lankey, Donna Lankey. So it doesn't make it weird. We're all friends. I mean,
absolutely.
It's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
You know, you go through divorce and you got to be enemies. I mean, there's always kids involved, and I'm so glad that we're able, to sit down and have a little fun today.
Great to be here. Looking to have a lot of fun.
Well, it's always something in here. I mean, we've had the craziest was the band. The Shorty Long Band. We knocked off a bottle of bourbon in here. It was crazy. And then we didn't get the sound, so we had to come back and do it again the following week and drink another bottle of bourbon. But it was fun. But we keep it loose here. We talked about it. So now that all that's out in the air, we know who everybody is now. Let's talk. You've been in the medical field for a long time.
41 years.
Wow. It's a long time up in Edison.
That means I'm getting old.
Yeah, well, we're all in the fourth quarter.
That's where the gray hairs come from,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that and other stuff. But you also you're the chairman of the board of Magyar Bank.
Chairman of the board of Magyar Bank, yeah.
Wow,
headquartered in New Brunswick.
That's
New
where you guys are now?
Up north, as you called it before.
Yeah, up north.
Yeah,
but listen,
north.
I'm South Plainfield, you're
Absolutely.
Edison. And how many branches?
So we're up to 7 now.
Wow.
We're going to open up our 8th in Martinsville. In a few months.
That's nice up there.
Mostly Middlesex and Somerset counties.
Oh, okay.
So 2 in Edison, 1 in New Brunswick, North Brunswick, South Brunswick, Branchburg, Bridgewater, and then Martinsville.
Wow, cool. And obviously you were the mayor of Edison for 2 terms?
I was the lucky enough to have a second term, which I was only the 3rd mayor in Edison's history to get more than 1 term. So we had Anthony Ulensis, who was kind of Mr. Edison, who had a number of terms, and George Spadoro, who was mayor for a few terms back in the late 70s, 80s, early 90s. Everybody else, the people said, we don't want you anymore, and they get rid of you. So I served my 2, figured that was enough, and decided not to run anymore.
Well, we were stunned when we heard, obviously we were going to find out. I was like, holy shit. I was like, wow, this guy's going to go and be a mayor. That's pretty tough, especially in Edison. I mean, it's a large Indian population there, and to overcome those hurdles, to be able to connect with those people, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, Edison is, as people know, the Asian population, which is both Indian and, East Asian, is over 50% of the population right now. So, it is very diverse. And people think, it's difficult to get elected because they would elect an Indian, which we do have currently an Indian mayor.
Okay.
However, the Indian population seems to fight more within their own population than they do outside. So it actually wasn't that difficult for me, because I kind of brought a lot of the things, fiscal responsibility, conservatism, and they're a very big Democratic bloc of voters. Which I know I'm down in Republican country.
You definitely are.
But I figured I'd sneak that
yeah,
in there. At this
I was
point
waiting.
That was
good.
So it was unique, but not as difficult as it may seem.
Yeah, it's that. I mean, just to think about, how would you get something even done? I wouldn't even know where to begin. I know there's the township, the council, and all. I'm not big on the politics.
So that was one of the reasons when you have your council with you, it's easy to get a lot of things done. When the council's not with you, it's kind of difficult. And I ran into a situation where my council got split. I had two councilmen, Mike Lombardi and Len Sandelsky, who were very good, probably one of the most educated council people we've had in the history of Edison. And they ran into a political issue, which was our water and sewer, which we wanted to privatize it and actually get about $500 million in to improve the infrastructure.
Wow.
Because most of the infrastructure in Edison was from the 50s and 60s, because that's when it built up in population. Nobody had spent any money over the years, and it was really starting to crumble. We were having water main breaks, sewer breaks.
Yeah, I remember it was all over the news. Once a week you were hearing it, yeah.
So they had already privatized the water in the south end of town, so that came up. So we figured we were kind of go along and add the sewer to it, get the infrastructure fixed by the company, not increase taxes at all for the taxpayers, and it's a win-win situation. Politics came into play. People, not because it was a bad idea, they figured it was a way that they could possibly, get into office, and they kind of rode the wave because of all these groups from throughout the state that don't like to privatize anything. Kind of came in and
politics. Like
politics.
Said,
unfortunately,
in politics,
and that was when you say, I was probably more surprised than anybody else when I decided to run for mayor, because I was not really a politician. I became a councilman,
right? I remember
kind of by mistake, because they had asked if I would consider. I said I would consider, gave them my resume, then all of a sudden they chose me without even asking. And I was running for council at that point in time. And then as council man, the mayor that I had run with, she kind of did some things that we weren't very happy with. And lo and behold, I was running for mayor and became mayor. And the toughest thing was telling my mother, who was very anti-politics.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my dad was kind of the behind-the-scenes guy in politics.
Yeah.
And this was before cell phones. So all the reporters would call. They would always call the house. He was never home. So she would answer the phone, and she was not. So that was the first thing. The toughest thing that I had to do was to tell my mother that I was running for mayor.
Your loss.
Yeah,
we lost your mother.
Thank you very much, yeah. But that was the toughest.
Wow.
Nothing else scared me. Telling her I was running for mayor, that was the scariest thing for me.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
What were your biggest that you felt you accomplished as being a two-term mayor? What were your goals and accomplishments?
So financially, they were really strapped when I came in, and I prided myself from being an accounting major in finance, being able to fix that. So I feel like I fixed that. And our police department had a number of incidents, for lack of a better word, over the years.
Yeah.
And we really wanted to try to get the professionalism and the reputation of that department back, and I think we did that also. So those are probably the two biggest things that I was happy with.
Do you miss it?
I miss the people.
Dealing with the people?
I don't miss the politics. I don't miss the day to day. I don't miss doing these things. Because I used to do a lot of these, and
did you when you say you walk into a business in your town, and obviously most 90% of the people gotta know who you are.
Right.
They always throwing you stuff, or like trying to, or
of course not. Of course not.
Yeah, right. And then, but trying to get your influence.
You
should do this.
They always want to see
do
you.
That.
They were always inviting you to come by. And,
yeah, of course. That's one of the perks.
It's a perk or
it could get reversed into
a curse.
Yeah, it could turn out to be. I can see that as well.
Exactly.
And you're under a microscope constantly.
It's not like it was, like I said, people would ask stuff. I said, you know what, if this was the 60s and 70s, maybe we could get that done. Today, as you know, there's a camera. There's
you got to consider yourself on camera when you walk out of your house.
Everywhere.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Everywhere.
The doorbells, everything. Yeah. Wow, so that was pretty cool. And now you had they were all going at one time. You were on the board at the bank. You were the mayor. And you were also at JFK.
Correct.
Well, it's Meridian now. JFK University
Medical Center owned by Hackensack Meridian. We merged with Hackensack Meridian about 5 years ago, I guess.
Wow. So you had all that going at once, plus raising kids.
I did.
You had 2 boys.
That's what kept me out of trouble. Donna can attest to that.
Well, that's something, and that's a lot to juggle. Definitely, especially the whole mayor thing, because you got to be out there all the time.
Yeah, it's 24/7. So
we used to see you on the news, on the 12 news.
Yeah, I used to try to avoid that as much as possible. And people used to call, which is why it took you so long to get me on here. You call up, yeah, right. I'd like to do it, but I got something else going on. I figured when you recorded, you can't deny.
Well,
it's there. It's there.
Yeah. Especially nowadays. Yeah. With all these phones, it's ridiculous. Wow. So let's talk a little Bruce Springsteen now.
Of course.
I know you're a big music guy. So am I. I know you're really into Bruce. To the point of how many times have you seen him?
362 times.
Holy shit!
And that's only his individual concert. So when he plays like festivals and whatnot, I will not include that. If he's only playing an hour, not included. So that's his own full 3.5, 4-hour shows.
They're still, he still plays that long.
Still playing 3 hours now. He's
I saw him once back in the day, the Born in USA at the Giant Stadium.
Yeah, 85.
Yep, yeah, I saw him there. I thought it was a really good show. Did you see the Broadway play?
I did. Saw it 4 times.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Loved it.
Yeah, I'm not a Broadway guy.
I'm
I don't
not
fit
a
in.
Broadway guy. I go once a year because I'm kind of forced to go.
Like me in Smithville. Sorry.
But you know what? So I'm into Springsteen mostly for lyrics and kind of what it means to me and the stories. So Broadway, it's kind of about that stories and the intimacy of whatnot. So it was really
from a 70,000 people arena.
That's why I'm really not into the stadium. I guess I'm getting old. Not into the stadium show. I like the arena shows because they're more intimate and
you can really see them.
Talent. Yeah, because I got into Bruce because of the lyrics and the stories and
the guy could write some stuff. I like a lot of his earlier stuff. I actually play a few of his older songs. What's the one? Going Down? The one on the Born in the USA? I'm going down.
Yeah.
What's the one I played with the one down by the lake, Greasy Lake?
Spirit in the Night.
Spirit in the Night. Love that song. One of my favorite songs. I just can't sing it well. So we're working. That's a working process too.
Well, some say he doesn't sing it well either. So.
Well, it's different when you're in the studio and you have all layer upon layer of stuff. Me with the Thirsty Piney, there's no layers there but alcohol. And that works just as well sometimes.
I see you doing Ellery's, I saw.
Ellery's up in
Middlesex.
Yeah, a friend of mine, that's, I'm, of course, some South Plainfield, and friends of mine, and they all hang in there. And, we've been talking about it. I was supposed to play this month, and it got canceled. And I kind of put the music on hold I'm taking broker classes now. I'm going to get my broker's license. Right. And that was more important. But we're going to play there. Then we're playing the Piney again in May. But I'm looking forward to Ellery's. They say it's a cool place.
Yeah.
I've been there when I was a kid.
Yeah.
When we used to hang. But I always hung in South Plainfield.
That's our president at the bank. That's his big.
Oh, really?
He's from Dunellen. So.
Oh, okay.
And Ellery kind of goes on our golf trips, the owner of the place.
Yeah, so his sister is married to one of my best friends.
Okay. Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, they say he's a really good guy. I deal with mostly the manager there, this guy, but we're looking forward to it. And from what I'm hearing, a lot of people are coming.
Yeah.
I got family up there. They're all coming.
That's great.
Hopefully we're going to stay up there. We're not driving home, right? I'm not going to drive anyway. But, we're looking forward to that. And I understand. Like, listen, I'm no Bruce Springsteen by any means, but doing that, like the whole music thing, whether I'm listening to it or playing it, my version of playing it, it just it's a different world for me. It takes me to a different place.
Yeah.
It really does. It
No,
gets
I
me
mean,
away.
He changed my life. I mean,
Well, that's
I
good
say
to
that,
hear.
you know, first time I saw him, which obviously Donna was there at the time, right summer after high school, August of '78 at the Garden. First time I played the Garden.
Okay.
And sat there afterwards, and I was like, you know, what F was that? You know, it was just amazing.
I
And
love
just
the old
the,
stuff.
The passion and you know, like you could feel like he meant everything. And I just always seemed to be able to associate with the lyrics at the time. You know, although he's, you know, 10, 15 years older than me, seemed like when he was writing, I was going through a lot of those things.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a
so
huge connection.
That association was always there. And
wow. And you kept, what do you, have you ever met him?
I met him just to say hello. You know, met him during his book, when he did his book, over in Freehold at the Barnes & Noble over there. Met him at a couple fundraisers, but never to really have a conversation, just to kind of say, hey, hello, you know, that
How many shows did you say you saw?
362.
This dude should take you out for a prime rib dinner at freaking Peter Luger's. Jesus.
Yeah, I paid for a few of them.
Yeah, I'll say.
You know.
Wow, that's good. That's good. So now let's talk a little bit of banking.
Yes.
I'm telling you, this guy's an all-around guest, isn't he, Donna? We talk a little bit of everything with him. Now, how long you been involved with the Magyar Bank?
So it's going to be almost 30 years.
Wow, that long.
Yeah. I told you I'm getting old.
Man,
you know,
well,
keep
we all
looking
are.
at the gray hair. You'll remember how
It
old
looks
I
like
am.
it's snowing when I get my hair cut. Are you kidding me? Listen, as long as it keeps coming in, I don't care. It'll come in blue. What do you see within the, you know, as far as the financially, the way things are going these days? I mean, it's pretty rough out there.
It was rough. I mean, obviously the few bank failures, and they affect everybody. You know, we're on very stable ground. In fact, we were able to increase our deposits tremendously over the last year and a half. But you know what? It's still, everybody questions. You know, the stock price, obviously, along with everybody else, came down a little bit. You know, we've since come back. But you know, every month or so, you hear of another bank.
Scary.
And the scary thing is that a bank like us, we're about $1 billion in assets, so we're kind of on the smaller side, but not too small. We would never be able to kind of get away with a lot of the stuff that these bigger regional banks have gotten away with. Our regulators would crucify us.
Oh, really?
So it kind of, you know, leaves you to questions like how do they get away with some of this stuff? That causes them to get into the trouble that they're in, you know.
Money's usually the root of all evil.
The more of it you have, the more of it you can get away with, I guess.
I'd like to find the other end of that out. I know what not having it means, you know. So,
but it's tough, you know. Magyar. So we're trying to stay fairly small because we kind of run on that community bank philosophy.
Right.
You know, you're still a person, you're not a number, you're not a name. We like to see you come into the branch, you know, although a lot of people don't go into branches anymore. I'm one who's there, but sometimes I'm by myself. But, you know, we like to have that personal relationship.
Well, that's why I'm here at Crossroads. It's the same situation here. I mean, I was at a big, that they don't know you now. You know, I know everybody. Everybody knows everybody here, which that means a lot. Yeah. You know, I don't think big is always the best. You know, on a lot of stuff, definitely business. You know, I believe wholeheartedly in small business. Yep. It's the key to every community. Yep. You know that. Absolutely. You know, I'm not telling you anything.
That's what I used to always say when we cut ribbons. Small business is really the backbone.
And you got to support them. You hear that? You got this. You're hearing it right from a politician here. Small business. I've been saying it. You got to support the small businesses.
Come on.
Ex-politician, yes. Well, you know, you going to break any news here today?
Not today, but
no?
You know, maybe sometime soon.
Yeah, you think you would go back into it?
You never know. You never want to say no.
Yeah, you can't say no. Yeah. Well, Tom, this has been pretty cool.
Oh, I've enjoyed it.
Thank you so much for
Sorry
taking
it
right
took me so
down.
long to get down here.
No, listen, we'll do it again. We'll definitely do it again. And we appreciate you coming on. You came down from Edison. He's a busy guy. Obviously, you heard all the stuff that's going on. Maybe we'll do a Bruce show one day. I'll go back and see him again.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, I like a lot of his stuff. When you were talking about you hitting the notes with him, like with the lyrics, I remember in my 70 Barracuda with my 8-track in there, listening to Thunder Road and Born to Run, that album, the Jungle Land. Oh, my God, I remember listening to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was on like Rosalita, all those songs. I used to love him then.
So you got all the big hits. See, my favorite Springsteen
the small
songs
stuff,
or you probably haven't heard of too many of them.
What's your favorite Bruce song?
The Price You Pay.
Yeah, I don't even know it.
And Lost in the Flood is number 2. Adam Raised the Cane is number 3.
Oh, good song.
You heard that one?
Yeah, good song.
And Something in the Night, number 4.
I've heard
Those
that
are
one
my
too.
top 4. My number 5 always switches, but those are
that was on the Raising the Cane was on Darkness on the Edge of Town album,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Wow,
So
you
was-
like
so
that?
was- so
yeah.
Darkness
That
on
was
the
my
Edge of
favorite
Town,
album.
right?
Darkness on the Edge of Town.
Well, that was the first album. That was the first time I saw him. So it's probably, that's my favorite. I always liked the Nebraska album, which was his acoustic one that he did in his garage, just because it's so depressing. And I say that because it's like when you're depressed and you hear someone else is depressed, it kind of lifts you up a little bit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So sometimes when I'm feeling down, like I listen to the sad and down stuff, and it kind of lifts you up.
Wow.
You
Well,
know?
that's something.
And when you're up, you don't want to be too up, so you gotta bring yourself down a little bit, you know.
And I happen to notice a lot of the songs that I do happen to be dark songs, like "Sympathy for the Devil." I don't know, about 5 other songs that they're not dark. Yeah, some of them are dark, but but I don't look at them that way. I like you said, I think it's basically the same thing. Yeah, it's crazy. Well, Tom,
right. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Listen,
Thank
we're
you.
going to do this again maybe one day, but we'll definitely see you soon, obviously,
good.
at the
Sounds
next family
good.
event.
Sounds good. Good
All
luck.
right. All right.
Good luck,
Thank you,
everybody.
everybody. Thank you, Crossroads Realty, Chris Sapiro, I said it right. Mark Costas, Ron Shaffrey. I love you guys all. Thank you so much. Bye-bye, everybody.